Hello, and welcome to Hairgen Hair Loss Control Center, a leading provider of natural hair loss treatment. The following video will demonstrate how our treatment works at a micro level, and why it is superior to any other natural hair loss treatments. As an introductory note, the key properties in Hairgen treatment are growth factors and cytokines. Growth factors and cytokines share many similarities, and the distinction between them is frequently arbitrary. Hence, we have grouped our biochemical ingredients into cytokines and growth factors to help understanding this video, not according to their actual functions. Now, we are going to briefly explain what growth factors are, and why they are important in the treatment of hair loss, followed by how they work in our treatment. A growth factor is a protein naturally occurring substance in our body, capable of stimulating cellular growth, proliferation, healing, and cellular differentiation. Growth factors are important for regulating a variety of cellular processes. They typically act as signaling molecules between cells, by binding to specific receptors on the surface of their target cells. The growth factors we use in our treatment are exact copies of what we naturally have in our body, which is possible thanks to the proprietary biotechnology employed for the production. They have the highest purity and bioactivity, which is of great importance for treatment results. If the level of purity and bioactivity is low, not only does the treatment lose its effectiveness, but the risk of side effects will also increase. We are going to demonstrate how our growth factor treatment functions for hair growth at a cellular level. First, let us explain the hair loss process. This is a cell of the hair papilla. A male hormone enters the cell. If it happens to meet an enzyme called 5-alpha reductase, it turns into DHT, dihydrotestosterone, which is the main cause for male pattern hair loss. DHT is actually a vital molecule for men, and its role will be explained later in this presentation. Excessive DHT binds to a receptor, and then a signal is sent to DNA, to produce various hair loss factors, as opposed to hair growth factors. These harmful hair loss factors then also bind to receptors, and send a signal to DNA to produce harmful substances that attack and kill hair cells. As a result, the hairs are miniaturized and fall out. This is how DHT destroys hair follicles, which is the main cause of male pattern hair loss as well as a large percentage of female hair loss. Now, we will show you how Hairgen treatment combats this hair loss, and promotes hair regrowth. Our Hairgen treatment pack contains cytokines, growth factors, and nutrients. They start to work at the stage when hair loss factors bind to receptors. For example, one of the cytokines, named noggin, binds to a receptor instead, and blocks the BMT hair loss factor, so that the latter cannot work. Likewise, SOD, superoxide dismutase, blocks TGF-beta, and WNT, blocks DKK hair loss factors. These hair loss factors need receptors to work, but the cytokines take their place, so that they cannot bind to the receptors, and so become ineffective. A strong defensive system from these harmful hair loss factors is established, which creates a favorable environment for hairs to grow. In the meantime, hair growth factors bind to their receptors, signaling DNA to regenerate the hair and follicle cells. While each growth factor has its own mechanism of action, their concerted effort rebuilds the damaged hair cells, as well as multiplying and dividing new cells. The treatment pack also has a raft of nutrients, food for the hair to grow. These nutrients include vitamin B complex, amino acids, and minerals, such as copper peptide and zinc. As the hairs are stimulated for regrowth by growth factors, with little influence of harmful hair loss factors, and nourished with the multi-nutrients, the dormant and thinning hairs grow healthy and strong. Our treatment is based on science, targeting the root cause of the hair loss with biochemical substances, so that its efficacy cannot be matched by any other natural treatment. Earlier in this presentation, we mentioned that DHT, which is the cause of hair loss, is derived from 5-alpha reductase. What should be noted is that, despite its negative effect on hair loss, DHT is in fact a vital molecule. It is what makes a man a man. It is a strong androgen. that facilitates male growth characteristics. 5-alpha reductase is also an important enzyme. It is responsible for creating a number of other very important neurosteroids in the brain and throughout the body. Therefore, DHT and 5-alpha reductase must be present at an adequate level, and a reduction in the level of their activities could lead to an unwanted outcome. It can occur with the use of a hair loss treatment drug, finasteride. Finasteride is sold under brand names Propecia and Proscar among others. It is a prescribed drug, used for male pattern hair loss only. Its function is to inhibit the 5-alpha reductase enzyme. The outcome of its use is a lowered production of DHT. However, while it may have a positive effect on hair loss prevention, there is a chance of adverse effects from deficiency of DHT, most commonly, sexual dysfunction such as impotence and decreased libido. This is why caution is needed when finasteride is taken for hair regrowth. Further, it does not completely restore receding hairline, especially if the person had a receding hairline for some time, or have gone completely bald. It also has to be taken indefinitely to maintain the hair growth, otherwise hairs will fall out again. The good news is, the growth factors and cytokines in the treatments we use, work without affecting the level of DHT. Our cytokines work against the hair loss factors, which are only byproducts of DHT. They don't fight directly against DHT and 5-alpha reductase, and this is why our treatment is safe with no side effects. As to the treatment efficacy, many people ask about PRP, platelet-rich plasma, in comparison to Hairgen treatment. PRP is a type of clinical hair loss therapy. It is a concentrate of platelet-rich plasma protein derived from whole blood, centrifuged to remove red blood cells. The reason that PRP is used for hair loss treatment is because of the cell-regenerating capabilities of growth factors in the plasma. It has a greater concentration of growth factors than whole blood, and has been used to encourage quick healing responses in several medical fields, including hair loss treatment. Aside from its high cost, the difference between our treatment and PRP is the richness of growth factors. The concentration of our growth factors is over 100 times higher than that of PRP, which means our treatment has much greater treatment efficacy. So to finish off, here is a summary of our Hairgen treatment action. Our treatment works in 3 ways. First, cytokines safeguard hair papilla, by inhibiting hair loss factors derived from DHT, without adverse effects, that are the main cause for male pattern hair loss. So the DHT's damaging influence on hair growth are significantly subdued. Second, the powerful multi-growth factors, in concentration of over 100 times higher than PRP, stimulate and promote hair regrowth via a cellular development. Lastly, a raft of nutrients is supplied for a healthy and strong growth. Our Hairgen treatment employs a multidimensional approach, based on science, to combat hair loss naturally, and has been proven to work for all types of hair loss regardless of age and gender, without any side effects. We don't just promise, we deliver results.